Welcome to this special feature of Personal Development Mastery Podcast. This special audio feature is about Gaianet. Gaianet is a global community connecting heart-centered, purpose-driven changemakers whose mission is to work together towards a harmonized world. To use their own words, to grow the roots of a new earth. You might agree with me if I said that right now there is a crisis happening in the world, in society, in humanity. A shift is happening. And it is said that there are two timelines that we can go towards. And one of them is the timeline of less freedom, more control by the system, more surveillance, more censorship, less liberty. And if that sounds like a dark or dystopian future, I agree. That's how it sounds to me as well. But there is another timeline. The timeline of a heart-driven new earth, where all of humanity lives their purpose in perfect harmony with nature and each other. Gaianet, as an organization, has a mission to facilitate the co-creation of this new paradigm and to connect and unite heart-driven individuals and projects. I believe it's very important for each of us to look at these two possible timelines and make a choice which one we prefer to direct our energy, our focus and our efforts towards. And as for my own personal reasons for doing this podcast feature about Gaianet, I have shared them in the previous episode 159 of the podcast, which you can refer to if you want to understand my own personal motivation and involvement with Gaianet. So here's how this podcast feature is going to work. I have interviewed the co-founders of Gaianet and also some of her original core contributors. And I will let their voices tell the story of Gaianet, and I will be your narrator and share my own personal perspective when it's needed. I will put the answers in an order that will help you follow it and that will allow the co-founders and the people behind Gaianet share their story and inspire you. The feature will be in 3 parts, and in this first part, let's start with the essentials. The 2 essential questions to begin with, the first one is what is Gaianet? And the second essential question is who is it for? Let's start with the first question, and the first person we will listen from is Bart Horvech, one of the co-founders of Gaianet, telling us what is Gaianet?
I would say that it's really a home for people that believe that a different world is possible, and who've made this inner journey also and feel deep down that we are one. And also a third part, I think it's also very important that the understanding that we are the ones we've been waiting for. No one else is going to do this for us. We will have to do it ourselves. And that's the beauty of it, that we can all step up and become a vital part of the creation of a more beautiful world.
And here is Julia May, one of the original founders.
In the form it is today. So because it's a new earth organization, so it's morphing. It's like an organism, yes, a living organism. What was the aim in the first place was to bring people together. Like the more connections are made between all these wonderful people doing amazing stuff, the more this fabric or this web, this golden web of new ideas, new creativity, new energies can start to flow around the planet. It's also very much about the human connection, exchanging information, starting to go through the experience as well to form community, to start projects, but not from the typical legacy kind of approach with a top-down, the pyramid kind of approach, but really tap into the field, tap into the wisdom of the collective field when people are gathering together and see what comes.
I asked the same question to Dan Horter, co-founder and vision keeper of Gaianet. Dan, what is Gaianet?
It is in motion. And what we find out is that, and what we get as a feedback, we're really good at community building and of holding space for people to meet each other in the heart, to drop the guards, and to be honest and transparent, and to bring love in action, really. And by that, our purpose is more not to build the new earth, but more to grow the roots of the new earth. And what we do, we offer that in a space, in a soul space, with all the things that money can buy. And that is what we're good at creating hope, inspiration, joy, connection, brainstorming, openness, vulnerability. So our vision for the future is a humanity that works as one, as a community-type society, through a series of cities and villages that function as a whole. And our mission in that is to be the most trusted network of digital and virtual hotspots. Physical hotspots, digital hotspots, where people come together who are willing to put effort to creating that together, to bring humanity together as one. So we are mostly a connection platform at the moment. And we offer a lot of support and infrastructure for people to go actually and do something, but it's more about the magical connection that happens in this network.
In his answer, Dan touched on the vision and mission of Gaianet, and in part 3 of the feature, we will discuss these in detail. Coming back to our essential questions for this first episode, the next question which I asked all of the people who I interviewed was, who is Gaianet for? So we will listen to Bart Horvech again, telling us who Gaianet is for.
That's something I'm also wondering to make it more specific, because I already mentioned these three elements: people that believe a different world is possible, that feel deep down we are one, and the people that understand that we're the ones we've been waiting for. Apart from that, I also see that there needs to be a willingness to pioneer, because everything we're doing is new and the way is not paved yet. We're experimenting our way into the future. I believe that Gaianet is a gateway, a portal into this newly emergent world. And we're connected with a wide network already of other initiatives that are on the same mission. I see Gaianet as a portal where you enter, and from there you can explore this whole landscape together with other people that feel aligned with the vision and that you can feel at home with, and be yourself, share yourself, and discover what are the dreams that you wish to bring into creation, into this bigger vision, this bigger dream, this bigger movement that's happening.
And here's Julia May again. Who is Gaianet for?
Gaianet is really very well suited for people who want to start doing things, who want to collaborate, who want to co-create. It's also a place for people who are curious hearts that really want to start exploring what is there and want to try to find out. Imagine you're a person and you're like, yes, okay, I want to do something. But you're not yet in a place where it's clear for you where you can contribute. You can come on Gaianet and find peers there, join some masterminds, start to talk with other people, find information. It can be that you have something. You maybe already have a project around one of these aspects and you want to find other people. Maybe you have a tribe, and there are a lot of representatives of other tribes at Gaianet as well, and project owners and people that are incredibly passionate about building a new earth and wanting to put all their energy in that.
We will listen now from Alexander Keenan, one of the co-founders of Gaianet, answering the same question. Who is Gaianet for?
You know, we are the ones we've been waiting for. The world is taking a wrong turn already for the past hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. Politics isn't going to change it. Big corporates aren't. Banks aren't going to change it. They are a big part of the problem. So it's you, it's me, it's us, it's the normal people. It's us. Our job to figure out we're not just normal, we are all powerful creators, and we are the ones we've been waiting for. No need to wait for savior. It's not gonna happen. It's inside of you, it's inside of me, it's inside of us. And we need to get together.
The next person to hear from is Floris Moorkam, who is one of the core contributors of Gaianet, telling us who is Gaianet for.
Well, for me, Gaianet would be the platform where people of all kinds of different projects can unite in creating the new world, basically. So let's say we have multiple cities around the globe where people can come together and we kind of showcase how governance can be done, how people can live together in harmony, kind of to inspire. And of course, to create a city, you have thousands of different projects that need to be done. And Gaianet would be the place where you can showcase your own project, find new contributors, and also contribute to other projects, of course, to really create that network and that map of the whole ecosystem, where people like that's because that's one of the things that are happening now. There are so many amazing projects out there, but they're all kind of like on these islands, working with their own group. And like there's so many people doing the same things as well because of that, and that's just like such waste. So it like needs to be all connected. Everyone has to see what everyone else has to offer, what their superpowers are, and able to contribute in the way that they do best. And then so that would Gaianet be then with the actual outcome of creating also like the physical spaces where people can connect and really live that way,
And here is Dan Horter again, the vision keeper of Gaianet, telling us who is Gaianet for.
So at the moment I see Gaianet is for especially collecting heads of projects, project leaders, wise, influential, emotionally matured people, which has always been a dream of me to sit at the table with them. And now it's happening. And at the same time for Gaianet to be a light beacon at this moment for lost souls who know that things are not right and we need to do something about it and they don't know where to go. So we are a point of recognition for these futurists and visionaries who really want to see that if we want to change it, we've got to get together and do it together.
And I hope that some of the things that you've heard so far spoke at some deeper level within you. And in the next episode of this podcast feature, we will go deeper into the people themselves and all their background, their role, their spiritual journey, their calling to start Gaianet, and I will aim to illustrate not only their vision, but also the heart of these people. And in the third part of the feature, we will delve deep into the vision of the future and most importantly, what we can all do about that right now. And so, before the conclusion of this introductory episode, there is one more essential topic I asked my guests to talk about. And I will borrow again the voices of my guests, the words of the founders and core contributors of Gaianet, when I asked them to explain how they see the global situation right now. See if it resonates with you. The first one to speak will be Dan Horter, who explained this situation while he was telling me his personal story.
It was a few years after 9/11, and as I studied aerospace engineering, I felt something was fishy about the planes crashing into the skyscrapers and them collapsing. So I researched that, and that brought me onto a lot of different documentaries. And I soon figured out that our system is rigged. The way our socio-economical system operates on this planet is controlled by a few people, and it's not for the benefit of all, but it's supposed to be for the benefit of all. And I soon enough discovered that in order to create a transition, a solution, we cannot try to reshuffle the silverware on the Titanic, but we have to create something completely new.
And here is Alexander Keenan talking about the current situation and also discussing those two timelines that I mentioned earlier on.
Well, first of all, I think there's still two timelines that are possible for the world. One timeline in which, let's say, the system squeezes harder and harder and people keep feeding their energy to the system, which is for me one of the worst possible futures, where our humanity is stripped away, we turn even more into robots, the soul is completely disconnected. And we just operate for a system that's designed to funnel all the surplus value to the elite stakeholders that are behind the leaders that we get to see. So that's where the world could be going. This utopia, dystopia, whether this is unfolding depends on our individual choices. How many people do I meet that are still working for corporates? You are serving the dystopian model. I know you need money for your family, for your kids, for your rent. I know it. But you put your best time, your best energy into fueling a system that is destroying the earth and that is destroying people's lives. So I think the main factor in which timeline unfolds is the amount of people that dare to step up, dare to do the right thing, turn their back to the system. No violence, no anger, just walk away, stop feeding energy, and please invest your energy in creating something new, something regenerative, something beautiful. And once enough people do that, the system cannot exist anymore when people stop giving their energy to it. So this is a calling to everybody listening to dig deep inside yourself and ask, what are you investing your energy in? And is this really serving the highest good of all?
This was the first part of the podcast feature about Gaianet. In this episode, the people behind Gaianet discussed what it is and who is it for. And they also shared some of their thoughts about the current global situation that in many ways led them or accelerated the creation of Gaianet. In the next second episode of the podcast feature, we will go deeper into the people themselves, and you will hear them talk about their background, their key defining moments, their spiritual journey, and their calling to start Gaianet. Here's a little sample of what you're going to hear next time.
Humanity as a goal should have two purposes. It should have the purpose to come in harmony with our environment and to come in harmony with ourselves. And the path to come in harmony with ourselves is to reconstruct our material reality with a whole systems design. And the way to come in harmony with ourselves is to transcend all of our limiting beliefs and our fears that have been programmed since birth.
Sometimes I see what's happening as an exodus, like in the Bible. And it's not so much an exodus from what some call the matrix or the system, but it's also an exodus from our mind, getting out of our minds and into our hearts and start living from there.
Feeling is the language of the soul, and we haven't been trained to feel. Our entire education system is about thinking and logic, rationality, is made into some kind of deity, if we can be rational about it and scientific, then it's true, then we can trust it. Right, but the problem is that like this you can only look in the rear view mirror. You know, science says, first see it, then I will believe it. Spirituality says, first believe it, then you will see it.